position to be in, of course, because you have. So you have to think about it.
I feel like everybody at this stage in the game has been conditioned to know this is a viable strategy. Because like I said, in the lower bracket, in the upper bracket, they were contesting Baka and Pars. Didn't work out for them. They switched up their strategy. They started doing exactly this, playing roulette with their drop spots to try to sneak up on some teams. And that inevitably was what got them across the finish line. And it's only a matter of time before Baka and Pars go in this direction. It's no matter what the result will be.
And this is what we talk about, teams hiding strategies, teams really sitting back and thinking about, okay, what haven't we tried yet in the upper bracket and lower bracket that we're sitting on, that we're waiting on, that we can then put into play to give us the advantage on Championship Sunday.
They have some sorts of feeling. See them hopping over the covers. They know they're around here somewhere. They probably already seen them drop just a little bit, but the bait has been taken. Down goes one of them. Misha and Teeny strike yet again. Now Pars is stuck by himself, and immediately you see him creating distance between him and his counterparts. He doesn't want to be the next one on their hit list.
And we don't want to be the ones to give away the edge. So to keep it low, to keep quiet there was a tough one, but take a look at that. Misha and Teeny, 2 games in a row. Surprise, surprise. They have made so much adjustment from the upper bracket to today. It really has shown so far in the last 2 games, but now Teeny has to still close this out with Misha.
Yeah, they went from 2 builds to 53 thanks to Baka and that elimination. Pars is trying to fight with his back up against the wall. Shots also coming in from the third party. Everything comes crashing down, but Pars is still able to put up a good defense for now. Teeny's hot on his heels. First shot could be landed. Pars goes down to the low ground, and the 2v1 has been secured. Misha and Teeny strike first.
What a play. What an ambush set up there. Definitely highlight worthy. Meanwhile, we jump in with Vico, Pink. Their draw spot split by Acorn and Cold. You can see that they have lost a fair amount of the advantage of the general area, but it hasn't affected them that much. They have still maintained a very, again, more or less successful setup. In the feed, I saw that Cold might have picked up Scented there, so already down south, some action going on right now. Acorn and Cold here looking very much solid as they're going against Polarized. Polarized by himself, getting pieced up, boxed up, now forced onto the back foot here. This is a favorite here. Cold does get punished, but he's got his teammate here to back him up.
Yeah, trade in shots, bait and switch. Acorn is trying to alleviate some of that pressure, but Polarized keeps trying to break his way into the box, but he gets denied entry more than once. Now Acorn's simply going to try to hold the covers, peek through, try to figure out where Polarized is at. Give Cold time to heal up. Zip line, that one's going to be noticeable. Now Acorn has to make the decision. Do I just go straight up into him? Do I continue to play my game out? And I saw third-party shots coming in. He hits it. He goes right back up. Zip line once more. Polarized goes down, but it's not the team you thought. Cooper steals that one away.
Man, that's the worst feeling right there. You put in all that work, all that damage, and 4 points slip away. Meanwhile, Poda, Sai, and Snazy, the M8 boys, are back at it again. Oh no, but they couldn't save Striker this time, so lost damage, but the strategy was still there. The idea still potent.
They've been performing so well this weekend. 90% has to be them, 10% has to be the crowd on their side, fueling them. Anytime they feel like their gas tank is empty, you see a loud cheer from the crowd, and that's a little bit of a refresh in its own mind. But with 1 elimination, they get their surge plan started over towards Shattered Slabs. There's at least 1 team towards the north side. But we got a surprise, we got a treat. We got a little bit of a listen-in of an off-spawn battle.
Wait, where are they?
Hey, take guns on left, take guns on left.
Yeah, I got these guns.
6 wide, 9 wide, the other one. 6 wide.
Yeah. Good job, mate. Good job, good job.
Big set of eliminations right there. You can hear the comms clear and concise. But for a second there, they didn't know where they actually were.
Yeah.
That's how tough a 50-50 can actually be. Slight, bus route deviation all of a sudden, you're coming in from different angles.
Yeah, that's one thing is can have the best drop, but when everyone's going for the same weapon, Malibuca's the one who won out, which forced Kanata and Aegis elsewhere, but our game one victors, Pollo and Spinx, who probably got a front row seat for that battle. You saw them flying through the sky when that contestation was happening. They looted up, and I gotta say their loot is looking pretty impressive. 8 slap splashes, 3 big pots, and that's just on Pollo alone. They got a free rotation to where they want to go. You can see some shots coming in, a little bit of a warning shot at that. Cammy and Seti contested over towards Frenzy. They won it in game 1. They choose to split it in this next game. And they're going all the way over towards the western side as somebody gets beamed from afar. That's just helping their surge plan all together. But they're just trying to rotate to where they think it's going to go, to where the least amount of teams will try to huddle up.
Meanwhile, Noxie in a fight right now. Chris severely damaged in this battle here, but does manage to find stable ground here. This is going to be a tough one to close out if they allow Asa to bounce back. It does seem like he's got a chance to do so.
Even though he is by himself, we've seen so many teams and players make magic happen. Noxie and Chris, they see him kind of run away. They got to question themselves, is it worth going ahead and pushing forward? You continue the game plan, which you set out up into this point. The zone for now has pulled over towards the western side with a little bit of a north lean. And that's why you see a lot of these teams hovering over towards Shattered Slabs or in this vicinity altogether. And you can see, this is actually pretty unique. You see Kits Boombo in his inventory. That's something I don't see very many people pick up, but if you have the accuracy, you can do a ton of damage on players nearby.
Definitely one of those things. The option has always been there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't see it come into play. A lot of variety already starting to turn online. We'll see what he's capable of with that. Yamzo and Rise, pretty strong game 1. Had some late game appearances there. Another western pull here. This time we're going a little bit more north, up towards the Eclipse State. We'll see how this influences the majority of the lobby, but North teams are pretty happy right now.
And this is why you saw early in the game, Cammy and Seti rotating in that direction. They had a feeling it was going to go on that side as Yamzo and Rise just sitting on top of their normal spots of the castle and the gas station, trying to pad up on Surge. And there's going to trying to rotate from the eastern portion of the map as the zone continues to pull on over towards the west. Cooper, they got that early game surge, but it isn't going to be much because they did take away that elimination from Acorn and Cold, who did the brunt of that damage. So for now, it's just about farming up. Miro's the one that's in charge of trying to get those tags on top of that building.
So impressive. We jump in with Vanyak and Karmi here. Lucy and Seno listening nearby, holding those edits, trying to see if there's a chance to pounce in crash pads. But all in all, this is a pretty tough spot to be in. It's gonna be difficult to turn this, situation around. It seems like there's been a drawn-out battle, and Lucy and Seno have been on the losing side.
See that already 7 teams down and out. It's not as active as it was in that last game up until this point, but it's definitely very, very close. You see the augments all out, Fast Fisher, Glider redeploy, Keymaster, if they're able to come around to it, and then that first shotgun. It's going to be huge for a lot of these teams that are able to use that Fast Fisher, because we're going over to some of the water spots on our way over, which instantly fishes. Whether you get a flopper to kind of stagger yourself in the zone, or a slurp fish, or any of the shield fishes to go ahead. You see Bugha has one as well. That's instant shields. It's 10 less than a big pot, but it's faster than a big pot altogether.
Definitely important to have those quick heals. Threats on the move right now. They're not happy with being on the outskirts of the zone here. They want to get a little bit more center before other teams start moving in and decide to do so. In the meanwhile, though, they also have to bounce back with some material here. There's a metal reservoir down low, but it's Pollo and Spinx potentially holding that one out. Meanwhile, Mr. Savage looking to find his footing here. Last game was a tough one. He gets the siphon for Vidil and keeps him in the game. That's Trulex. And now Chicho is hurt. In he goes. Still on the hunt. Nicely done. And Savage and Vidil clap back for the first time today. They have some wind in their sails.
And this is big because we already seen at least one of the teams in our top 5 go down. That's iDrop and Mappy. And as long as a couple more of those teams at the top of the leaderboard go down, that opens the game up wide open for any of these teams to overtake that spot, since it is very, very early on. Mr. Savage and Vidil showing what they can do out of Naughty Nets, which a lot of people don't necessarily like that spot, but that just goes to show how good they actually are. Not only are they on the low ground, they have to cross a river. There's teams they have to get through, so they're doing everything right up until this point.
Already we've seen our first team inside the top 10 fall, which was Janus and Reason there. Getting caught on this rotate here, seeming like the west pole wasn't good enough for him. You saw Bugha's HP there as we were flying by, very hurt as they were coming just past Oyo and Sphinx, but Rift Island spawns in beneath Stain and Datus, a team that absolutely needs to make a comeback. What a better way than to find points other than to take the Rift Island for yourself. Will they go for it?
I already see that they captured a weapon cache with the Slurp Juice in his inventory, throwing a bush directly on top to cloud their space. That way they can fire freely without very many players able to kind of tag them back. And you can see the teamwork. Stain's there to try to break the build. They're timing it right, so that way a sniper shot can try to sneak his way through. This is going to be big as Batman, Bugha, and Rapid are actually going to be the first team on top of Rift Island. And we saw last game, the team that was on top, they were able to capture it because they were the first ones there with nobody really contesting the actual flag. Let's see if that'll change around this time, now that's more than halfway full.
Rapid and Batman Bugha are well on their way to securing it here. I think it will be theirs. Pink and Vigo probably have considered it, but when you're just late to the punch, why jump in? Why take that risk? 2 on team that snatch it up first. But again, the Rift Island is going to be 15-point swing in any direction if you can grab it.
Like you said once before, that's almost 4 eliminations without actually having to put yourself in a risky situation. And what these other teams are doing, even though they're not trying to contest it, one, probably going for scraps as soon as Batman, Bugha, and Rapid leave that location. But most importantly, with that added elevation, they're looking for Storm Surge. They can see the entirety of the lobby, and those teams that have to rotate from the south, from the east, that is who they're looking at most of all to try to get the Storm Surge that they need. You can see they have 224. And they're even looking at some of the other teams that are on top of Rift Island as well.
This should very much put Rapid and Batman, Bugha in the conversation, though.
Yeah.
Rapid, although by himself, he did make some placement last game. Here we jump in with Edgy and Duke so far. 600 above this surge. They're going to be well and fine here. They're positioned very nicely already at the Eclipse Estate, which is near dead center. Do they have the storm mine? Do they know where the storm's going? Because this is some prime positioning right here.
Yeah, we got these forecast towers all around the map. It allows you to read where the zone is going, but Duke had 46 solo impact points in match 1. He was just gobbling up those placement points, and you saw him in those type spots getting eliminations as well, especially when he needed it most for both the Siphon and the Mats. Malibuca and Thomas well above the damage threshold. Even though they're falling, they have more than enough surge to where they don't have to worry about it. For them, they're just trying to see where these teams are positioned at to try to make their own rotation in. The zone continues to pull towards the north side of the map, over towards Eclipse Estates. So if it stays there, this one could get dicey because there's some unbreakable walls, there's a surrounding water, there's even the moon there that we saw Cammy and Seti use early on in this tournament.
Clownski grows on the move right now. Already setting up for a nice position here. Looking out for fights, looking out to see if they can find tags. This is going to be a team that, if they don't get active, will surely have something to worry about, but they find more stashed there. Great tags here for Strauss, Grols, and Clownski, and already now they have a chance to go ahead and alleviate some room near them, get back into this game. But no, Grols, you saw yourself for a moment. The punishment comes in. It's Pixie off to the right there, who has made it further this game than the last. Meanwhile, Yamzo and Rise potentially has not been able to secure the health that he lost from getting this far. Ooh. Wow.
Down goes Bugha. Shows exactly what you're talking about. Without that heals, he's not able to get the HP up, what makes him an easy target through the sky. Now he's a focus that they know the knock's there. This is 4 points that the team is going after. And then if they're daring enough to move over, that's loot as well. And you can see Bugha handing over some of his resources while he's down. Just trying to pad Threads' material count, making sure that he's able to save him. But look who's knocking on that front door. Trick or treat. In comes Acorn and Cold. And no tricks up their sleeves. All treats as they get those eliminations.
Yeah, they knew they had the knock. They had to finish it right there. They were in the perfect position. And with the zone going south, hey, we got to go this way anyways. It was well timed and executed on their part. And it puts them at 2 eliminations now. Very comfortably in the game, and the full refresh to really set yourself up for success. It doesn't get much better than that. Meanwhile, Snazy, Podesai on the move right now. The M8 boys playing deep outside the storm circle here. There had to be something worthwhile, but it looks like it was just a late rotate. A fight in the zone. Gone bad.
Yeah, probably that early game strategy. If they're not